Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 135. Hopefully it's got the right microphone now. I forced it default on Windows, regardless what setting. So let's see if we got some sound, music or so. That looks good. I think we got it. We'll get around these bugs on Google. Haha! We got ya. Unfortunately, the link I shared around isn't valid now. Oh, Manicam volume up and down. I just love that auto volume. It's buggy. I'll just unmute John. John, you there?
I'm very much here.
And you seeing the music now? Or hearing it?
Music sounded great, yeah.
Cool. I think we're going to have to make a checklist and just do the things the hard way in the future and gets around the bugs in their code. It'll be up to 3 hours, but already we've lost half an hour. It says only 0 watching though, which is kind of strange on the admin panel, but the stats are opposite on the main screen. I don't understand why. And that's 1-1 there. Oh, it's finally caught up. I tell you, it's strange stuff happening. And I got 2 likes before too. Yeah, well. Good to be back. Yes, a stressful, lazy Sunday. Nope, but we'll keep there. No, I can't be playing sound. I'm not on the Out There channel. Anyway, just be sound. Hopefully I'm over top of the sound. Yeah, I was going peaking crazy there as I was talking with the music playing. The auto noise cancellation software on there is just ridiculous at times. But it's not too bad. The software makes it a lot easier than OBS anyway. And it allows you to output it like a camera. That part works all right. It's just that the software on Google is not picking the right microphone, even though you selected it from the list. Really strange. Okay, we need to...
They do like to play with their code.
Yeah. I haven't paused it, so I better pause that and switch back to the desktop. So yeah, I had a nice intro on the first one, and now it all got messed up. So we probably lost a couple of people watching as well in the process. But that's life. Like I said, I haven't got anything planned today, but I'll probably wing it and talk about a few things, some stuff that's happened, and look at some MUFON cases and give a test out on the new software or the new memberships to things to be able to do copper analysis. So I better zoom down here. Is that working all right there with the magnifier? Looks like it's going all right. Welcome. Oh.
Working. That's good.
It's a wee bit buggy too. What software is it? Out There channel, live stream 35. There you go. So who's out there? Anybody? Apart from John. So where to begin? Well, I just brought up this thing with images. Nothing too particular interesting I just did a basic search to see what come up in images, UFOs, and this is what it came up with. So obviously they're the most popular images based on websites, I guess. I'm not seeing that one before. What is that? A squid thing? Looks a bit
Kind of cool.
Bit scary. Yeah. The world's 8 best places to hunt for UFOs, is it? Extraterrestrials. Well, it says we're here. I might have a look. Forbes. They're probably copyrighted, are they? I suppose. What's that place called? Sodidonia, or whatever it's called. Sodidonia. No, I'm not so sure.
I'm not sure what.
Sardonia, is it? Sardonia, where all the fruitcakes come from. Sardonia, the place that you say is where a lot of bullshit comes from. Sardonia. That one? No, Sardonia. That one.
Oh, Sedona.
Sedona.
Yeah. Sedona.
Yep. There's that mountain that they say have lots of UFOs, and it has all these people that do prayed mantis sitting and hum and absorb the energy. They reckon it's like a UFO.
It's terrible. Sedona is nothing but shops full of crystals and UFO books.
Really?
Oh, it's horrible.
Is that?
It's a beautiful place, and they just turned it into nothing but a huge commercial venture for paranormal and UFOs.
Sounds like there's like a hippie cult within the UFO field, isn't there? And they go to these conferences.
Yeah, but Sedona, the thing about Sedona is that's all high, expensive stuff. I mean, you go into a crystal shop, you know, you're not going to walk away with a $5 crystal. These things are thousands of dollars.
You got crystals there.
Yeah.
So this is just a random topic that I just picked up straight away. Crystal vortex crystals. I suppose they won't have the price on the screen, though, will they? So look, they got several places here. Crystal Magical Bazaar. Sardonia Crystal Vortex Airport. And it looks like we got a few people watching now. They managed to figure out that we had some technical problems because of Google changing the script. Crystal Magic. Here we got some images. Of course, a lot of it's quartz, which is very common in the ground. Apparently, where there's quartz, you find gold. Because quartz is normally embedded with gold as well, and you crush the crystal up and get the gold out. But yeah, some of the crystals do look nice, I must admit, and the bits with the gold flakes in it looks really, really pretty. Same as opal in Australia. They've got all these different background colors like blue, green, reds, and white, and they have all these different shades of rainbow colors in it. Crystals are definitely, obviously, something unique in science, and I don't know where people get the idea that they hold power or give them power or protection or whatever. I don't know where that all stems from, but obviously it comes from religious views and probably the cult of it all. Is it pagans?
New Age stuff.
What does it come from? The pagan background, you know. A lot of stuff in Christian is from pagan as well. They say, like Christmas trees and all that sort of stuff, and giving gifts. Is it Saint Nicholas? But yeah. So yeah, the rest is a bit of a cult within the UFO field. You get those people pushing their products and theories about what aliens are. the fact is we don't know what aliens are, whether they're interdimensional, which is way beyond our comprehension, and sci-fi. And then you got ones that think it's just, obviously the universe is super big and super old, that other races have plenty of time to develop and travel across space, and or send their alien probes, you know, the little spheres that they see around the place. Have you actually seen any spheres? I know you had a you talked about your UFO sighting, but I don't remember you mentioned before that you saw it daily for 3 months, the same UFO.
Yeah. No, it wasn't the same UFO. There were different ones popping up. They looked like stars in the middle of the daytime, popping in and out and moving around the sky.
Okay.
That's what was so odd. That's what caught my eye. I was watching a plane take off out of Sky Harbor, and I saw a star. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be able to see a star.
Could you tell if it was in outer?
And it started moving.
Yeah, could you tell if it was outer space or actually in the atmosphere?
That was the problem. Like you said, it looked like a star. So I had no point of reference as to what flight level it was at. Was it
daytime?
60,000 feet?
Daytime?
Was it inside our atmosphere? Was it outside the atmosphere? I don't know.
Was it in daytime, nighttime?
Daytime. This was always during the daytime.
So it had to be pretty bright.
I noticed.
Had to be pretty bright to see it in the daytime then, especially where you live.
Sure.
Because you're very sunny there.
It wouldn't be just one. There'd be, one would pop up and another one pop out next to it, and then the one that was there popped out of existence, moved across the sky and popped back in. And
are you sure that wasn't
weird?
You sure that wasn't the illumination flares being dropped?
No, those were not illumination flares.
Did you see a light more than 20 minutes in a row?
These things would pop in and out randomly. There was no set time when they would do anything.
Yeah, but did you see one that lasted more than 20 minutes? Because that would rule out flares straight away, you see.
Well, no, not the way these things were popping in and out and moving around.
Yeah, so it could have been something.
I don't know. I really, I don't know what it was. At that point, I had other things in my mind, like cancer. So
yeah. Well, it could have been some military experiment, though, as well. Did it actually?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I'm something our government was doing. Of that, I'm pretty sure. Unless
the lights were moving super fast, from one place to another, and then vertically, and then shooting up. Did they do anything crazy like that, or just popping in and out?
No, they would zip across the sky, and you'd watch them do it. It's like zoom. It's like, whoa.
So that sort of rules out.
It would zoom across the
flares.
Yes.
Yeah, that would rule out flares and that aspect of it then. Because now we're critically thinking about stuff, and then you're meant to be able to look back at your own site, and you might be able to debunk it now. But
I've tried, believe me. I have no idea what that could have been.
Yeah.
No idea. I even MUFON a thing about that several times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, you might want to send someone out there to take a look.
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I was just going to go back to this web page here and see what their best places to hunt for extraterrestrials and search for UFOs. I think hunting extraterrestrials is actually quite a negative sort of thing, isn't it, really? UFO hunting is quite a negative. UFO spotting, they should call it, and ET contact, maybe a better term. Media always paint it in a bad way with the word in. So let's have a look. I think the Cytonia one was the first one, actually, even though we talked about it. It looks like Cydonia to me. Does it have a caption underneath it? Says Chile down there. My fascination with the unknown compelled me to explore unique areas from around the world and could discover the mysteries of the universe, as well as entertained by historic sightings. Here are my favorite locations. So they reckon that's Chile. It looks like Cydonia.
No, Cydonia is very
very
specific. It has the little bit colors. Yeah, Cydonia.
I keep thinking it's got an I at the end. Cydonia. What does Cydonia mean? It sounds like an Indian word.
It could be. I don't
or Spanish maybe.
Honestly,
Sedona. Let's see. It might have a name in the dictionary.
I could look it up.
If I can spell the name right, Sedona. The origin means created name. Well, that's original then. Arizona was named after one of the earliest settlers, Sedona Miller. There you go. There's the connection. Schuschnibli. Was that Miller? Is that German name? Shibli. Not sure how you say that. I'll just see if I get the reader to read it out, eh? See if they can read it better than I can. I'm doing right click here and it's not working. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's see if the sound works. There's another thing too from the webpage. Where is it?
Get much easier.
The name's Dona.
I think it was come out and speak it on the headset, didn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, Mick West, tell us.
The name's Dona is of American origin and means created name. The city of Sedona, Arizona was named after one of the earliest settlers, Sedona Miller Schnebly, who was born in 1877 in Marine, Missouri. Her Pennsylvania Dutch mother just thought up the name Sedona for her daughter because it had a pretty sound.
So it spelled it out because it couldn't say either. What did it say? Scheby. Let's see if the other
Schnebly?
one. Yeah, Shibley or whatever it is.
Sedona Miller Schnebly. Yeah, Schnebly's a big family name in Arizona.
Yeah, but was it from? German settlers. Let's see if this other one says it.
Sedona Miller Schnebly.
Well, that one said it. Shrapney.
Yeah.
that Mr. Drunk USA man. Oh well, we can have fun today. Urban
Absolutely.
Dictionary. What does Sedonia mean? I thought I had the font set for this. Looks a bit smaller than normal again. Or is it just my eyes are worse? 120, that's a bit better. So that reminds me, on the 17th, I've got an eye appointment at the hospital. So I probably won't be doing a live stream that Friday. So we have a wee bit of a gap between Wednesday and Sunday streams coming that week. So you'll be happy. It's becoming a bit of a job now, isn't it? And everybody wants a holiday.
No, actually, it's a break for me.
Maybe you just need a break from your mum, not UFO stuff.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. Right.
I feel the same.
This
is the same I feel with the dog. My life revolves around the dog and the internet. Got to keep him entertained and happy, and Elsie just annoys the hell out of me. He knows not to bug other people in the house to take him out. Only me.
He's got you trained.
He has. Okay, so Chile's one of the top places. Why, I don't know. Anything from South America, always fine. I've never found a really decent UFO case which is not suspect. Can you think of any that was really good cases from down there?
Not offhand.
We had that guy called Diaz, whatever his name is, D-I-A-Z. He did these light UFOs, claiming they were living vehicles, which is a possibility. UFOs don't have to be like made from materials. They could actually be living creatures that live in space and don't need oxygen, and then they absorb the energy from the sun and all that sort of stuff. But whether they hover in the atmosphere is another thing, which is kind of strange. And how they move, you know. It's not like they got these little flappy wing bits on the outside like a rod critter has that pushes them along. In fact, probably a rod is actually also hollow. It's probably sucks air in and shoots it at the back like a jet engine. if they're real, of course. I did actually see one.
Yeah.
I did actually see a 1 foot long one with my own eyes, and I questioned what I saw, whether I was actually seeing things or not. But when I looked up to the sun, there seemed to be a lot of these clear streaks all coming from where the sun was, and sort of bending and flying off, and it was all gone within a matter of seconds. So back then I didn't have a smartphone camera or anything like that, and of course, time you would have got the phone app up on the camera, it would have been long gone. It's the sort of thing you need to capture on some high definition 1/1000 frames a second or higher. But the only reason I saw it, I think, is because it was like a baby one, maybe hatched or something, and it was falling from the sky, and it just learnt how to fly just at the last second, and it just skimmed right over the roof. I could see how it bent, just like in the video, and it was just about to hit the window, and suddenly it just accelerated upwards and bent like a S, and then went gliding over the roof. And I was sitting in the lounge, looking in the right direction at the time when I saw it happen. And I thought, what the hell was that? That wasn't a dragonfly or anything. And I thought maybe it was a bit of cobweb or something. But then it reminded me of what I saw on the rod videos with which they say is camera artifact because of the low shutter speed. And I thought, wow, maybe they are real, and the low shutter speed is only something that looks similar to them. So yeah, I couldn't wrap my head around that because being a skeptic and seeing all the debunks and things, thinking, oh yeah, maybe that guy did fake it, but he always
different when you see it. Yep.
Yeah, he was saying that that they tried to attack him and they weren't using the right camera settings and shutter speed, like he said in the video. But they had it set on a lower speed, so of course you're going to see moths that show up as a wiggle on cameras at nighttime and in daytime as well. But yeah, so move on. Only you are listening to this at the moment, for the looks of it. So what's that place there? Paranal Observatory, Northern Chile. What's that? They got the picture there. I can't quite make it out. Weird looking buildings with telescopes by the looks of it. I think that's the one that has a group of 5 telescopes that shoots beams of laser beams up in the sky, and it lines up all the telescopes to one location in the sky. So it's like having a big radar dish. I mean, a big biggest telescope. I'm not sure if it's radio scopes there or optical, but it looks of that one, it's optical there. But they have got ones they shoot beams up as well with radar. Not radar, radio. Whoop. We could probably type that in there and see if we can get some daytime pictures of it. Just as an interest to see what it is. If it will let me copy it. Something strange going on here with the mouse, I think. I think the mouse is on its way out. There's always something, isn't there? I think I've used the mouse so much in the last... it's probably quite a few years old now, probably 7. I think it's finally... There's contacts on the right click has had it. That's one thing that you use a lot on Windows is the right click. All the extra functions. So let's see. Looks like they've got a similar one in United Kingdom. Surely not. That doesn't make any sense. Is that in United Kingdom? says Chile here.
No, it's the United Kingdom owns it. Yeah, so it's paranormal in Chile. I guess that's United Kingdom owns it or something.
No, it says here observatory operated by the European Southern Observatory, ESO.
Okay, so you're.
Hang on, let me just open. Hang on, it does say Chile here. It's located, so they run it from UK, own it from UK, and built it in Chile. So I guess they must have made a deal with the government then. So they got some videos of it here. I'll get looks of it. Let's see if we get some images. There we go. That one looks more interesting. Now, it's a big place. Looks like they used a big earth movers, to make that. Build their own artificial hill.
Yeah, that took some engineering.
I wonder how stable it is for earthquake, because in New Zealand that would just probably all collapse. Do they get earthquakes down in Chile? They must do, eh?
In Chile, yeah, I believe they do. Quite a few.
I'm pretty sure that's the one they do lasers on, but it maybe it's not. Oh, here we go. This one with a laser. So it must be like all these optical telescopes then, not radio ones. They must all focus on a chunk in the sky next door to each other, so they get a longer picture, probably, which is pretty cool. So let's move on. What did it say about it, though? I should have read it, but it doesn't matter. What was this one? Alma. Now, they're radio ones, all making a big dish.
Yes.
You get lots of them next door to each other, all aimed at the same point in the sky. Makes it like a super big dish. Add it together with software. Same what they did with the black holes observing. And what's that one there? San Clemente UFO troll is considered to be an unofficial UFO capital of the world. Researchers say that hundreds of UFO sightings have been reported there, as much as one per week. So that's where you need to go, John. So popular is the area that the Chilean Tourism Board established an official UFO trail. You might be able to see a few Milo balloons there, mate, as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it looks like a remote place where you don't want to be left without any water. Although it looks like a load of snow on the caps there. I bet that gets pretty cold. Looks
It's at a high elevation.
Yeah, that would probably kill me. I find it hard enough to breathe at sea level. Like now, I've only got half a nostril at the moment, so I'm breathing through my mouth while I'm talking, so I'm probably going to need a drink. Blow out my nose, maybe. Doesn't always help, though. What's this place? It's got funny shaped buildings here. How'd you say that? Alquel Domus Astronomical Hotel.
Edkidomos Astronomical Hotel.
I think they must have looked like a big.
Edkidomos.
They must have telescopes in the top bits there, have they? I don't know. Looks pretty cool though. There's a place in Australia that has like these little batch things that you can hire for a weekend or whatever, and it's right near the sea there. It's called Rainbow Beach, but it's terrible mozzies, and literally they'll come after you. It's like a big swarm, and you got It's funny how they won't touch certain people, but if you're diabetic, they know what type of blood you are by the sounds of it, and they come after you. So you need a lot of spray and swatting. What's this one here?
No.
Andy's UFO and crop circles, England, Wiltshire. I'd like to go to UK. Have you been to UK? You know, as
No,
as
I
an
have
adult,
not.
I've been, you know, obviously I was born in UK, but and moved out to New Zealand. But yeah, it'd be good to go back there, see some of these locations like Stonehenge, and also I'd like to see the Great Pyramids. Although that's a bit of a dodgy area lately, isn't it? Where the tourists get killed. And of course, that's another location that we need to go to, the desert of Nevada there. And what's the last one?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem.
Look, here we go. Last of all, they got Arizona. Sedona.
Sedona is a beautiful area. It really is. It's unlike any landscape I've ever seen. It's
Kind of looks like something you see in those old westerns.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good, the
Oh, they
bad.
filmed a lot of them up there.
They probably did actually do a lot of filming probably up there, because it's on the border of Mexico. There must be a lot of stories there with the bandits and all that sort of stuff. You know, cowboys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember growing up with, was it Daniel Boone? He's probably obviously up near New York, is it Washington or something like that? I'm not sure. Or is it the other Washington up in Oregon, above Oregon? Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone.
See, I never. That was just before my time, so I didn't.
There's Daniel Boone, and there was the other guy too. What was it? What's the other famous person from the wilderness over there? I used to watch them on TV, and I thought they were pretty cool. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, see, the thing was, I grew up in the desert, and the last thing I wanted to see were friggin' television shows about cowboys and Indians in the desert, you know? And that's all that was on television. That crap. They were shoving it down everyone's throat.
So you weren't a John Wayne fan, I guess. No, I wasn't much of a John Wayne fan. I didn't think he was that good myself. I liked Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Clint Eastwood ones were quite good. And what's that great one with the two comedian guys, which I think it might be Spanish or something. What's their names?
Oh, I don't know.
They call him Trinity. Trinity, remember that one?
No.
Trinity. What was the two guys? Let me see. Let's look it up.
Ranger and Tonto?
No. It's a classic cowboy movie. It's just so funny. You should watch it. Trinity. Is it that one? No.
Oh, Sundance and...
No.
No?
The name is Trinity. Maybe I can't remember what it was called now. Here we go. My name is Trinity. They call me Trinity. Here we go. I knew it was something like that. What's those guys' names that did it? They're really funny. It's got the big fat guy with the beard and the skinny guy. Terrance Hill. That's the one. And Bud Spencer. Classic cowboy movie. I love it. It's funny as hell. He's on the back of this mule that's going across the desert, and then he gets off and goes into this looks like a bar, a Mexican bar, and he asks for beer and baked beans, and they give him a big pot of baked beans off the oven, and he flicks out all the dead flies in it. starts eating it with a big piece of bread. You have to watch the movie, even if you're not a cowboy fan, because this one's pretty good. It's like a piss take, you know, just piss take of the cowboy and the bounty hunters and rescuing the town from the evil doers. But these guys are a couple of comedians, Italian, I guess. So I thought they might have been Spanish. 1970 Italian Biscotti Western comedy film. I'm not sure where the word I'm not sure where the word Biscotti from movies come from. What's that meaning?
Spaghetti Western?
Oh look, it's got
don't
the
know.
other guy that we like. What's his name? Make My Day. What's his name?
Oh, cool. It's Prime Video, so it's free for me too on Amazon.
What's that guy's name? Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood there.
You still my name.
He did some interesting ones as well. Good, Bad, Ugly was one of the ones as well. Had great music. The Good, Bad, Ugly. Da da da. You know the music. I suppose we get copyright infringement for that. I thought you were good at music. You were meant to be able to sing and whistle. Can you whistle? I can't whistle like that.
That's something I cannot do is whistle.
That was a really good whistle track on Good, Bad, and Ugly. I'd like to play it, but we get copyright done as usual.
Yes, you will.
They did a sequence too. Can't remember what it was, but it wasn't as good as the first movie always. But out of all the movies, that's the best one I ever done. So getting back to the topic of
I have it saved in my
UFOs.
playlist.
So did you ever see the movie called UFOs and Cowboys, was it?
Sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah. I'll probably have to bring that one up too. What's that? Roswell, New Mexico. So they got some sort of thing in the sky here, is it? Some type of light they use, is it?
Oh, Cowboys and Alien.
Yeah, that's it. But there's also
Cowboys and Aliens.
There's also a documentary called Cowboys and Indians, which is quite interesting, where it talks about all the UFO sightings according to is it Alaskan Indians and
well, there's a streaming thing called Cowboys and UFOs by Gianfranco Del Folio, something like that.
No. This one was called.
This one's The Real Cowboys and Aliens UFO Encounters in the West.
Might be Aliens and Indians. Indians and Aliens. Here you go. APTN. You might be able to find it online and other places to watch it. I actually have a copy on the hard drive, although it's low res. It was streamed in low quality. Already it's not got a thing that plays, unfortunately, so you can't watch the preview. But yeah, I think it was, what tribe was it? Talking about different sightings up there across North America, Alaska, I think. Oh, they got a season 2. I didn't know they did a season 2. Season 2, why won't it go across? Off the series travels across North America to feature even more evidence that we are not alone. So yeah, if you can find season 2, let me know, because probably need to get a copy.
Right.
Season 1 had some interesting stories told by various Indians. What happened to them? Definitely worth a watch. So there you go. You probably only heard about it on Out There channel. And of course, you got the movie Cowboy and Indian, or Cowboys and Indians. Here you go. It wasn't a too bad movie. It was a bit crazy at times, though. I can't remember how it went, so I won't say any spoilers in it. I know in the end humans win, of course. But yeah, these series always paint aliens as being evil, don't they? Five cowboy and Indian myths debunked. Well, that sounds interesting. Why can't I get to the button at the bottom? Okay. So what's that one? Philip Meyer's great new novel, The Sun, confronts myths of the American West. Here he shoots down 5 of the biggest lies you were told about cowboys and Indians. Myth 1. Cowboys fought Indians. Well, this happened. It was rare. So, myth 2. The cowboy was the great, rugged individual of this time. Trappers of mountain men who walked and rode into the areas no European have ever seen. But what's the truth? The cowboy, by comparison, was a civilized creature closer to a truck driver. I suppose so. They would have been on the horses herding. So they're saying that, what is it? The mountain men were the rugged people, not the cowboys. That kind of makes sense, though. Have you ever seen that series on the TV called Mountain Men? It's quite good, I think. They do all sorts of handcrafted skills, making up stuff and making their own bacon and stuff like that. It's not too bad. And sawmill, of course.
What? Yeah.
Cowboy played a
lot
major
of work.
Yeah, the cowboy played a major role in American history. The long cattle drives, which employed the vast number of cowboys, were from about what's this? 1866 to 1886. And the main job of the cowboy was to drive cattle. That's basically what I said too. Obviously, they played a major role keeping people fed, I'd say. Myth 2. Cowboys died in gunfights. More cowboys were killed by falls and lightning. And of course, they'd be riding horses in the rain, wouldn't they? Myth 5. A cowboy life was exciting. In fact, it was generally slow, boring, and dusty. So there you go. That was worth a quick read, I guess. I want to know the 5 myths. I want to know the 5 myths with the aliens and Indians. I mean, the cowboys. Or the Indians, actually. So we got some... Well, have you heard any stories about aliens and Indians that you know of?
Well, I haven't really paid much attention to it, to be quite honest, and I should.
Do we call them Red Indians or Native Indians?
Definitely.
Red Indians or Native Indians? Or Native Red Indians? Or is that like a banned word now? Because I don't know how crazy the web's going now. Why were they called red?
Native Americans.
Were they called red because they used to paint their faces red? You know, war paint? Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, it was because of complexion.
You reckon? Why?
Because they were sunburned all the time.
American. Maybe they're called American Indians. But then again, you might think they're from India, right? If you call them American Indians. Why were American Indians called red? I suppose that could be the horrible R word that you're not allowed to say. Oh no, out there channel banned for questioning what the word means. Redskin, here we go. Slang, native name controversy. There you go. It always would be, wouldn't it? Okay, let's have a look at that one. Well, if you got any good stories to tell instead of me talking, you can go ahead. Anyway. Native American name controversy is an ongoing discussion about the change in terminology used by indigenous people of Americas to describe themselves, as well as how they prefer to be referred to? Well, that's a good question. What do they prefer to be referred to now then? Let's see, what's that? Pueblo dwelling people. Plains Indians. LDN peoples. In Canada, why status Indians remains a legal destination due to... That's not destination, is it? Designation. Due to Indian Act, the term Indian is generally considered offensive. Why? When used by non-natives. Oh, that's why. So you can call an Indian, if you're Indian, you can call another guy Indian. That's kind of weird. Yeah. I tell you, well, the world's getting crazy. So what was the other thing they said
Everything
there?
has to be politically correct.
It's probably a banned word then, so I'm probably in trouble. Redskin redirects here. Redskin is a slang for Native Americans in the United States and First Nations in Canada. The term redskin underwent pejoration through the 19th to early 20th century, and in contemporary dictionaries of American English is labeled usually offensive, disparaging, insulting, or taboo. The origin of the choice of red to describe Native Indian in English is debated. Well, I thought you heard the term redcoats. So it's because of the British wearing the red suits. But also,
Right.
I think it was picked up by some tribes in India, wasn't it? The redcoats. Well, related terms were used in literature in early 17th centuries on skin color, entered everyday speech in around the middle of the 19th century. At the start of the 18th century, Indians and Europeans really mentioned the color of each other's skin. Remarks about skin color and categorization of people by simple color codes. I thought it was to do with war paint and stuff, to tell the truth, but anyway.
Yeah, that would surprise me.
Meaning has been a significant point of controversy. Washington Redskins. Was that a football team?
Redskins, Washington Redskins, I think. I think it's a football team.
Origins. Red in reference to the American Indians as a race as first remained in 1720s. Combination with skin to form the term redskin can be dated precisely to 1769. It arises from translation of French Pourux rouges, I don't know, which is term in turn had been written by the what's that word? Conquistadors to Colonel John Wilkins. The term here refers to warriors. Well, there you go, redskin, warriors, paint. The term redskin enters wider English usage only in the first half of the century. Yeah, I don't know. Roots in Native American language goes on a bit, doesn't it? So there you go. I'm not allowed to use the word red. It's a banned word. And also Indian, according to the other one. We're not allowed to say the word Indian if you're not Indian. But technically, I think there is some Pakistani bloodline going in their family tree. centuries back. So can I call myself 1/1024 Indian or whatever? So
You can
yeah.
open up your own casino.
Well, it's a good way to make money, probably.
There you go.
New Zealand's already got quite too many. There's always a lot of protests about casinos in New Zealand. But if you live in a desert, I suppose, where else what would you do? You know?
Yeah, we got plenty of casinos ourselves.
Okay, so let's move on. So yeah, we sort of went off on a tangent there from that picture. So I was going through the opening stuff here, see if there's anything. These are meant to be the most popular images. That looks like Phoenix Lights there. That looks like rendering. A lot of graphic artists are about doing their stuff. What's that one there? 10 things you didn't know. Let's have a look at that one. What's that one talking about here? I think that was the fake that was it in America or UK, that one? Let me just open it up to see. Well, we suddenly got 2 people watching. They hit likes and then dashed off again. So perhaps they're watching another stream. 10 things you should know if you encounter a UFO. What's that one up the top there, though? That picture. 3 National Guardsmen and flying saucer in vacant near Bay Farm Island, 1950, from the Chronicle Archive Library. Looks like something someone built to make a hoax, is it? What's this thing in the background here?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Is it like a bunch of seats, like a stadium there, or what? Fence line?
Yeah, it's just bleachers.
Let's just go in a bit and see if we can make out what it's doing. It looks like it's acting or something, eh? From a movie set. So what's this thing in the background there? Is that meant to be like a military fence?
Yeah, it's just a set of bleachers.
Okay, let's just carry on. Oh, come on, get out of it. Snap into place.
That.
Following article is reprinted from permission of MUFON UFO Network, a non-profit organization. What was the thing talking about, though? Things you should know about a UFO encounter. So what's number 1? See if I can zoom in a bit. Not sure if you can read that. Thing to remember is remain calm. Don't panic. Hitchhiker's Guide. Be objective. Use a camcorder or camera to record the event. If you have a tape recorder, record your description. Sounds like it's an old list before smartphones and stuff.
Probably is.
Yeah, if other witnesses are present, ask them to write or record their observations. Well, actually, get them on camera talking about it. Or actually, if you've got 2 people filming the object, turn around and film each other as well. And or one of you walk backwards and get a wider shot of the scene. And also, one of the things that a lot of the people don't do is they don't take a daytime snap of the area or video of the area to go along with the actual sighting at nighttime, so they can map the location precisely like we do here when we look at MUFON cases. If sighted from distance at an arm's length, what would it take to cover up the object? A quarter, a penny, so they're working out the distance. Try to judge the distance from you to the object. Should you encounter some type of ET being associated with the craft, be prepared to take evasive action to protect yourself. Taser that alien from a safe distance. Yeah. Immediate report the event to a UFO research organization. Yeah, I think that list is a wee bit old. What year was that one? 2005. We had smartphones back then, didn't we? I think I had a real old... No, maybe not. Maybe smartphones, but we had regular phones. And I think about then cameras were appearing on phones, wasn't it? 2005. Let's find...
Yeah, because they had the Motorola flip phones and Nokia
Yeah,
flip
I'm pretty
phones.
sure they had a camera on it. But that was for taking pictures and videos rather than selfies and all that sort of stuff. It had a back camera, not a front camera. Now you have...
Right.
Normally you have a back and front now. What was first phone to have a camera? In 2002, there you go. The first phones with built-in cameras become publicly available, including Nokia and Sanyo, and a large 706 times 208 pixels color display. They call that large. Okay, I suppose having a color display was really unique, because the one I had was only black and white. It's amazing how far we've come in such a short time, eh? It's fascinating stuff. I think a lot of kids don't realize the rubbish that we had to put up with VHS tapes and non-digital cameras. And you take a picture and sometimes they wouldn't come out. And now you can just see what you're getting on the fly. So yeah, we're just amazing what you can go through just by pictures and seeing what topics people are talking about. But we'll move on from that. So that was a couple of interesting things we picked up there. So yeah, what's happening on Twitter? I had my Twitter account. I'll get it through Scott's here. Well, at least that's coming properly. Now Twitter started mucking around with a new format. It's all side icons that got no descriptions, and it's really horrible. I just don't like it at all. And you don't get all the stats like you do here. It's all hidden in the little icon on the side that you have to click now. But at least they've given you an option further down saying switch back to old formats. If you click on your settings. Which is interesting though, because I'm not logged in, it's still showing the old format here, which is interesting. So they're talking about this one here with the contrail that me and John talked about. It was a couple of live streams back, and Scott's only just picked up on it yesterday. Watching the latest Tucker Carlson Fox News about the Navy Pentagon. They were putting up all these UFOs on the side, which weren't UFOs, but plain contrails and stupid things like that. So he's saying it's the same contrail and smoke ring. Of course, there's a lot of debate at the moment, infighting with Black Vault and Tom DeLonge and To the Stars and Open Minds that's defending them, and Mick West is even into it now, saying that the document was actually actually proves that it's been stamped, which means it overrides whatever's written on the document, that it wasn't meant to be for public release. And I agree with Nick on that one. And Black Vault here too is saying that it shouldn't be released, but Nick's saying yes, it should, and so on. So I think it was actually officially released, the videos and the documents. It's a lot of storm and a teacup, cup. I think I said last time. So yeah, just get to my Twitter account. So yeah, we've had, Twitter is where a lot of it happens. A lot of UFO stuff and pictures get posted up. People pushing their agendas, and yeah, I know John's pretty new to Twitter. I think he joined because we recommended that he join. Was it? I don't think he used Twitter before then, did you, John?
Nope, I did not.
And now he's a big user of Twitter, so should be able to find me here. Hopefully. I'm sort of put down into the dungeon pits out there. I think it's 2016 is my tag, because you have to choose a small words. There you go. So what's been happening? I've been uploading stuff to BitChute as backup. It's a peer-to-peer thing, as you know. So I'm putting up my best videos there. Well worth going and have a watch. I've put up some comedies as well that I've done. Taking the mickey out of Third Phase mostly, and Security, and UFO Proof, and then we got this guy called Erik that had a UFO sighting that we tried to invite on, and he's just been like arguing with me endlessly on Twitter, and calling me names. And he keeps saying that he's going to block me if I insult him, and yet he will say lots of things, mummy's boy and all that sort of stuff. What did I tell you about that, John? This guy's using it with memes now. So he said this picture from Revlin Pop, is that how you say his name? Poke. Has put up a picture here claiming it's UFOs. No analysis. Never said to me to have it verified. So I'm just gonna zoom in on that one, have a quick look now. So let's see, what are we looking at here? What's that there? Branch power line in the corner here. Looks like a cable on a power line system there.
Right.
What's that one? 100,000 or 10,000 volts? So you can see how the cable disappears when it gets to the mountain ridge here. Sort of blends in. You don't see it, it sort of just vanishes. That's the limitation of phone cameras. Probably the direction he was taking it, it probably had rolling shutter. So as it was scanning across, he was probably moving it. And so that very thin line of the power line there vanishes. So you got to be careful with that one. And this here, I'm not too sure. Looks like, I'll see if I can zoom in further. Looks a wee bit out of focus, doesn't it? I'm trying to find what's in focus in the picture here. All of it's all blurry, see?
Right.
Looks like something that's bright white anyway, not reflecting. I don't think it's sun reflection coming back here. And it definitely looks like it's got 5 things joined together there, claiming it's a UFO. Could that be power lines with lights on top? Looks like a set of lights that we're not seeing, right? Could that be like a high mask lights on the high? Sorry?
Possible. Oh, you know what?
I reckon it's high mask lights on poles here. That's my gut feeling.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why you get nice you get 2 on a post behind it there? Could it be like what you call it, a flying fox system going across the valley there? Looks like there's some road there or something in the background. I know you're sort of like 30 seconds behind because you're watching it on YouTube.
Right.
But I think I can see posts there. So maybe I'll save that one and see if I can debunk it, eh? Or do it properly. So does that now tell me that these guys are trying to fake stuff for their contact in the desert conferences? And because we got that power line system here as well, it looks like it's heading that way. So let's have a quick look at it.
But I'm taken by the right Reverend Poke, so it must be real. Yeah.
Well, he used to be a follower of my stuff, and he used to promote it. But maybe since he's probably found out that I'm not a religious person, and I am very critical thinking, that I'll catch out all the BS that's being propagated. He may not quite like me anymore. But I'm fair to everybody. People do make mistakes. You know, if you're driving along and you see that in the sky, and this is the thing that I said to you. I think once people have a spot something, right, and all they see is UFOs from that point onwards, because they're always seeking answers. And now let's see, it's gone on the wrong screen here. Hang on. Of course.
Insert pie now is on the side chat.
Hey mate, how's it going? Welcome to the Lazy Sunday live show. We haven't got anything planned. We're just sort of hopping around subjects as we come across it. So, but it should be interesting enough. So I've got some images here of stuff I've taken, but what was it now on stuff from last night here? All right. Yeah, that was from Uploading BitChute. That was the one I did on SpaceX. That's as a comedy. Stuff that SpaceX hasn't shown. Basically, I have the car heading towards Mars, and you can see what the funny clip at the end that happens with the car. But anyway, that's what happens when you put human space junk up in space. So it's going to go somewhere. So that one can be deleted. And yeah, I did post around, but we had some technical problems, and we had to start the live stream 3 times to get the audio working. Seems like Google has mucked up their script for selecting the microphone, so I had to force my Windows default device to get around the problem. So what was this one here? Right, that was third phase. I might talk about that in a minute too. Right, and Tyler put out this image here, which is quite funny actually. Thanks to Charlie, not Charlie Roo, my dog from Texas, for mailing this in. And to me, it looks like they got the hat. At least they got the hat right. So yeah, Tyler's. At least we can see the age of Tyler's fans, anyway. But I did post it up on Twitter there because he's banned me, so I have to take a screen snapshot to be able to share it. So that was that one we're going to come back to. Oh, actually, maybe I got it on Twitter anyway. So let's have a look at this one here. Went to the guy that was on the side. What was his name? Did he go, John?
Insert pie now.
I'll have a look as it brings it up here. I'll see if I can zoom in. Oh, ultra zoom. Need to zoom out a bit. Okay. Won't go over the edge for some reason. Here we go. What did you make of that Utah vid? Missed your analysis. Okay. Well, it is up there. It's on BitChute as well, depending which one if you want to use Google. From what I could gather, it had to be a bird of some sort, possibly a falcon. It fit the speed and the size, and you could see it tilting as it was passing the drone. Looks like it was going to attack it, and then at the last millisecond, it decided it didn't recognize it as prey and glided past it. But yeah, it could be CGI as well. It's a bit hard to tell, really. But yeah, just go and look. I did an ultra zoom on it, and when you can see it changing shapes, and the way it's changing shapes is like a bird that is flapping its wings and then expanding the wings, ready to come in for a gliding pass. So I still think it's a white falcon or grey falcon. So here we go. We got of course, also Lions Ground made a fake of it, but in a different location, and put it up on a fake YouTube channel, and to see how many hoax channels would ask permission to use it and put it up on their channels without actually doing any analysis on it. So yeah, actually before I do that, actually I might zoom in. Let's see. I think it's high mast lights. But why would they be going on during the daytime? Is it like evening coming on there where it turns on early? That's a good question. Why is it not working?
I'll be back in 7.
No, something's going on here with the mouse not operating. Now it is. It's called up. Something happens in the background on this Windows 10, and I still haven't managed to pin it, and it causes us a lot of problems with live streaming. It could be something to do with the live script on Google that's causing the problem. But I didn't have it on Windows 8. So it's something new to do with Windows 10. And of course, I can't roll back to the older version on this newer laptop because there won't be any drivers for the old Windows. So it's a catch-22. But it's got the nice cores and speed that we need in it. Eventually, I might figure it out. Paste in a new image. Well, that looks a bit better. Okay, let's do some filters on it. We can do dark and light. Looks like a cable going there or a road. I'm not too sure. We got power cable masks here on a pole, and that's going off in which direction is a good question. Is it going towards where these lights are, down this way? Is it heading towards this, and then to this, to that? Because I know we have it looks like there's some lines coming up here. So let's put proper adjustment on it. Do color flip. And see anything pops out. Yeah, it's a bit washed out, isn't it? Still nothing's popping out. It's got a range of colors here. Okay, there looks like a cable going through the trees. So that's showing up, and that's from the power line here. So that's going that way. So where's this one from the top? Something now. Where's it going to here? Is that it going across here? Bit hard to see still. Might have to try and sharpen it maybe. So what do we got now popping up here? Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Got something squiggly happening here. So what can you make out of that, John? Looks like there's two shades of stuff happening here. We've got the sky here, and we've got something here on front. Is it being filmed through a bit of plastic? Are you there? John? Have we lost Discord? Have we lost John? John, are you still awake? Looks uneven, whatever it is going across here. So again, could that be reflections and a bit of plastic? Another hoax being made here. Could it be something on the car window? Better see what's happened to John. Is he there? John? Where's live? John? John? No. John? Yeah. Did he say he was leaving? I didn't hear him say he was leaving. Anyway. So yeah, amazing what you can pull out from a picture. So we've gone from, I'll just save that one. Oh, actually.
I'm dealing with my mother. I'll be back.
Oh, okay. I knew something had happened. I was trying to get interaction going. Oh no, it's not a piece of plastic, it's a hill range. So that's where we're going to go back to the original one again. Aha, it looked like it was through a window. That's because I cut it, I forgot about that. Okay, so that rules that out, so that's a hill. Still can't see where this cable on the top's disappearing to. So it's missing data from the rolling shutter, obviously. So now we can undo that one. Oh, right, now it's obvious it's the hill. I didn't notice before. Okay, so goes back to the original filter. I'm just trying to see if we can get some poles shown. I might just cut that again and have a closer look here. Resize. Okay, does it look like some poles there? Looks like I can see something going up here. Looks like something going up there, eh? And something coming up here. Still looks like LED lights on posts there to me. What's people in the side chat reckon? Okay. Still might have to zoom in more. Of course, we might be dealing with missing data. Because of the rolling shutter and movement. Like, just a really fine slight movement of the hand as you're taking a snapshot. CMOS cameras pretty suck, really. Does it look like a cable going across there? Let's have a look. Okay, looks like there's something happening here. Looks like there's a cable going between. Looks like a post with 2 lights there and a post with 5 lights. Maybe if we knew what state it was in. Location wise, does it say? So it's the greatest day shot he's ever seen, right? And that tells me these people just have no clue. They got no critical thinking. Reflections of hillside houses that can be researched. Nope, it's power lines of some sort with lights on them. Could be. Don't they use a row of lights like that for like an airfield? Like they use it like a runway of lights. But yeah, we need to get the location. Doesn't say, does it? That sort of makes it a bit harder. I think I did post it down here somewhere. So this is Erik. He had a sighting of an orb, right? And I told him to come on and talk about his story. But all he's done is attack me, pretty much. Tyler isn't a bad guy, but he admitted he didn't screen his videos. So obviously this guy has not watched any of my stuff. He's in the dark. The only time I listened to Tyler was when he was on Jimmy Church. So that's his problem. So he's not a very awakened man. So yeah. So we've been having a debate on Twitter there, trying to get him to look at stuff and to open up his mind because he's not awake. He thinks he's awake. But he's been insulting me as well. He calls me insulting him, but if I insult him, it was probably because I was actually stating the truth. Not actually an insult like Mummy's boy or whatever he was saying back to me. You're an amateur, that is fine. Everyone has to start somewhere. One day you may look back and realize that you stepped on your dick a few times and didn't know it. And I said, oh, yeah, that must be it. This guy has no clue. So maybe it's going to be one of these future people that I have to expose. He said he's going to block me. I said, well, people that block me generally have something to hide. Anyway, I think I posted the original one of this thing from that page, guy's page. Apparently he used to follow me, and he never talks to me, or I invited him on the show even, and never has. Reverend Polk, whatever his name is, or John. Let's see, whereabouts was it? I'm pretty sure I shared it, but maybe I've been blocked and it's disappeared. So let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's quite an interesting story there that I could read out too. About tall people. And I'm not sure if you guys are watching, follow me on Twitter at all. It's well worth joining Twitter because a lot of UFO stuff happens on there. Whereabouts did I do it? It looks like it's disappeared. I did retweet it. It's probably on his page. Let's see. How do we get to it? Click there. Click there, maybe. Okay, where is it? Golden UFOs seen leaving the mountains. So that's something else we could look at, I guess. Looks like he's deleted the post because I can't see it anymore. Is that it? Oh, there you go. Cydonia. We're just talking about that place too. So have they got high mast lights out in the mountains there with lights on? 7:23 p.m. So that's when the lights would come on, wouldn't it? When darkness is start to, just before darkness falls, they'll turn on the lights. So that kind of makes sense. But if this guy is from Cydonia and lives there, you'd think he'd know that there were lights in the mountain. So let's see what sort of lights they have there. My mouse key, right key, is not always working, which is a bit of a pain. Cydonia, power poles, or whatever you call them, lights, power lines, belly. See what we get. That's a desert. Of course, it might be like a highway in between the forests there that lights up the street, or maybe people that live in the wooded area there that turns off from the motorway. What's that picture there? Buildings on the hillside, which is what someone said it looks like, whether it could be building lights. Probably called high mast one. So there's one of these power lines, looks very similar. They're doing maintenance on, but it's not the ones we're looking for that go off into the forest line there. Could be highway lights or something like that, as well as the power line going along the road. Probably someone that lives there would know for sure. Unfortunately, we don't have enough people following me that live in all over the place in America. What do we call it? High mast lights. Cydonia. Looks like John's gone. He looks after his aging mother, and often she wants to go to the hospital, and it turns out that she's not actually sick but seeking attention. Okay. Well, nothing's popping up. There's something there, high up. What's on that one there? It's got a lot of posts on that place. Looks like a power line or some sort going across. So yeah, nothing's sort of popping out. LED. What do you call it over there? Highway. Let's see, Cydonia. Cydonia. Keep putting the I there at the end. So what we got? They're pretty high up masts here, but that's just single ones, not connected to power lines. That's in the city, not really the countryside. Well, there's a lot of forest, or trees at least, in the desert there. Must be a river that goes along there, right? A lot of trees here. Probably stumble across it another day, probably. Like you usually do. When you're looking for it, you never find it. But it does look like they do have power lines heading towards tourist attractions there, right? So there they go, the sort of spotlight in the mountainside here for real estate. So it kind of makes sense that they'd have lead lighting. Oh well, we'll just have to keep looking. If you find something there yourselves, do post it down the side. Well, actually, say you found it. You won't be able to post it probably unless you're a moderator, which is a damn shame. We really need a feature here where we can right click and say allow people to post links. Well, it should be just like a global setting that you can turn off and on. But yeah, so you get high mass lights. We can just search on that. Sometimes it's the keywords that you use that makes a difference. Okay, 5 lights, a mask. So we can see some. We had similar with the highway down in Mexico, right? So, but there's one with 5 in a circle, which security team did, remember? That one there. In the darkness, in the foggy night, you can see they're pretty high. One, two, three, 4, 5. So you see 5 lights coming this way. But I don't think it's like those ones here. I think it's like just on a pole between 2 poles. You go back to it, and I think I'll draw it on there so you can see what I mean. So I'll just say OK to that one. Can we make it lighter? Let's just try. John, I'm going to be a while with mum. That's okay, John. We're going an hour and a half. If you want to come back on and I'm still going, by all means do so. I think something popped out then when I did it. There you go. You can start to see the lines. That one's pretty good. Okay, so I'll just zoom in on that. Have a close look up. Okay, so we got the white line going across the bottom here, which is to do with the power line. And you can see here we've got a mast that looks like it's going central for the back one. And we've got another one that looks like it's in the middle there. So there, and there, and looks like maybe something there too. So we can see a black line definitely coming up here, right? Probably need a different color. Looks like it's a few pixels. So we've got a line coming up there, and looks like we've got a line coming down here. And we got a line coming down there, or right next to it anyway. What's that look like? Yeah, those lines are lined up for the central part of where the light stack is. And it does look like it's like 5 lights. It could be one of those round lights, you know. One of those high mass lights. So let's put it side by side. Can we scale it up even more? What's it on at the moment? It's quite big, isn't it? 1280. It just gives us more pixels. We'd have to zoom in. So let's have a look. It does look like it could be 5 lights next to each other. Let's see if we can narrow it down. Bim bum bum bum. So this one, it's got 3. Looks very similar. Floodlights. And let's zoom on that one. It's very similar to that, isn't it? Looks like it's round those round ones. So it just shows you can't see the lights around the other side. 1, 2, probably because it's lighter in the day too. The sun hasn't fully gone down. But they're pretty high up from the motorway there. And you can see how much that lights up the highway there. They're pretty good, the LED lights. It could be something more along the lines of these ones. But we want like 5 of them next door to each other. China 32-meter LED high mask. There's another one on a football stadium. How many lights is that one? Looks like we just looked at. Oh no, not a football stadium. That's what we just looked at. What else we got? Damn, another UFO photo debunked as months since ago. Tut tut, Reverend. You should know better to put up stuff like that. Unless you're testing out people, and that's okay. If you're testing out people to see how gullible they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be something like that, but on a different angle, so you only see 5. Just can't get the right one, eh? Light owl. Goes on top of cars, is it? That's pretty cool. Maintenance workers. What's that one there? Overexposed. Want something like this, but the right direction. You never get the one you want straight away. It's annoying. That's more like it, but we want 1 row of 5. Hey, that's so close, it ain't funny. And we want to, maybe the football stadium, let's bingo. That's not 5 though. But let's have a quick look at it again. Is it round ones? Or is it straight around? It looks like it's circular to me. Look, because you got the big light in the middle there, and it's slowly tapering off as it's sort of going either side of it. And this one over here looks like it might be the same type of light, but we can only see one of the lights lit. And that could be another one behind. That's not turned on. The one in the middle there. It's going to be something like that. Be good to get the exact one though. Could be that, but that's higher up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what else we got here? Some very close, but not good enough for side by side. Well, here we go. Now we're getting closer. That's 3 on a post. I wonder if they do 5 on a post. They probably do. And there's 3 on a post on a circular thing, which is what I was saying. Looks like they go around on a bend. I bet they do one with 5 like that. And here's another one with a row of lights. Some turned on, some turned off. It's possible. And there's another set. There's so many different variations, it's just crazy. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty close as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Further away and turned on. Some of these are going to be brighter than others. But I still think it's the wrong kind. So I might just have to choose one that's closest and just cut and paste and do a side by side. And I'll save it on Twitter so they can see what it is. Dum bum bum bum. Probably get banned. Hey Van, didn't see you there. Too busy looking for a high mast light. Are you still there, or have you gone on your way? Why is it not going over? Watching John. That and doing my greatest stream ever. Okay. We believe you. I'm just doing a free for all thing. Anything that pops along, I just look at it, but nothing planned. So there's another high mass light. 1, 2, 3. I don't think it's that one either. The lights are too far apart. It's going to be something like this. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Alright, I think I've looked through enough. Just have to pick one that's really close. And just go with it. I like to try and get the exact match because people can't deny it then. But unless you live in the area and you've got a photograph of what they use on the streets there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably something like we're looking for. Okay, so let's cut and paste that one. What's it not going to let us do it? Bum, 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 bum. Then I'll talk about the other things too. So image imports. Let's see how well it goes. Put it next door to it, scale it to the right size. Probably need to erase some stuff. That's pretty good, doesn't it? So, yeah. Oh, what happened there? John has left. Yep. Okay, save that one. Get some white. Too small to read. That's not UFOs or aliens. There you go. So now we can save it. Sedona. Yep. Naughty boy, naughty boy. 32 bits. That'll do. So now we should be able to upload it to Twitter. So I'd have to do that over here probably, where I'm logged in. Where's that? Okay. So they could be used as a indication for a flight path. You know how you get the bright lights at the end of the runway? There may be near an airstrip there. So what could be like a road in the mountain range here that the lights are shining down on. But it's hard to know what they're used for unless you live there and know that the road, go there on the road and actually get out the car and actually zoom in and do some better footage. That he must have known that what he was posting was not a UFO there. I think it's kind of being dishonest. So just annoys me. I don't know about you guys. So I'm just uploading it to his Twitter account on. Looks like I've been blocked. There you go. But then when you get blocked, you know they've got something to hide. So let's see if it shows up. Let's try and post it multiple times. Let's see if that one goes to. Oh, that one's showing up. So it must be one of these other guys. It's not showing it up. So I'll retweet it. And now we've got it up on the page. It should show up, hopefully. Nope. Maybe. Was that me? Yep, that's showing up. There you go. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? But I did post to Mr. Jimmy Church. Well, there you go. I'm showing you what it is. That's what comes from being a wee bit of a skilled person in digital enhancements. So from that to that. And that little line there is the power line going across to the other lines here. Kind of must taper off to the power lines here at some point. It goes to these ones over here. But only the person taking the picture would know for sure. So which one did I reply to? This one here. He blocked me. Let's see if it's showing up now. Looks like it's showing up now, but when I'm logged in, it don't show up. See what they do with it, guys. So if I go back to my page, I've also retweeted it just in case I get blocked or deleted. So You saw how I did it. And you can see here, I didn't quite line up the post on that one. That could be just a power line one going across. And of course, there are some other lights there as well, which I didn't look at over this side here. See, I'm just trying to work out where the lights are going along here. Could be single lights or two lights on a post there. Why is it so out of focus and blurry though, you know? Something I didn't do is try to do sharpening on it, which I could probably try now. Select all. Need photo. Why can I see it? Clicking on the wrong one. Photo. Okay. See what pops out through an enhancement. CPU's pumping up, so now you can start to see the masks also in the enhancement. Looks like there might be one up here too. Look, it's carrying on, which I could only see in the enhancement. There's the power line from this transformer, which is now pretty clear now, and the top of the power line going along here, probably along there, but we can't see it because of the rolling shutter. So it looks like it's going along here. Maybe it's going off in the distance here around the corner, is it? Yeah, it looks like the road, maybe a road there. I don't know. Looks like a mountain road going around. Highlighted it for the tourists. Bingo, bingo. So I might just save that enhanced one. Untitled Sedona. Probably use it as thumbnail, maybe. I don't know. Getting a bit lazy doing thumbnails lately. Because they're extra work after you finish the live stream, of course. Just close that down there. Coming up to 2 hours already. Okay, time flies, doesn't it? Probably need to get a drink though. So we went from that blurry mess to something that makes more sense. And color swap brings out other details, and zoom in, of course. So originally I thought maybe it was a reflection of a window where it was taking a photograph for it too, but as you progress, as you see, you change your conclusion. This is why we need to see videos. So if that was like a video and he was driving along, you'd see they were stationary, and you'd probably catch it at all different angles. It's all sneaky stuff these guys do. So I'm not sure if you ever listened to Open Minds. I did post a link here. I'll give you a link to my Twitter account here anyway. Where was it? Earl Grey did You might remember the big hoo-ha about a UFO following a couple of jets in contact in the desert, right? Conference, and so they submitted to MUFON, and they didn't like the conclusion that Earl Grey come up with, and he talks about it on a radio interview with Open Minds, and I've got it here somewhere. I'll just see if I can find it, because I did post quite a lot of links as I was uploading stuff to BitChute. I did an Alex Jones parody. That was quite well done, actually, for a quick video. Trump and Snoop Dogg. Huge dark eyes. Oh, that's quite an interesting article. I'll just open it up and post that too. If I can copy it. My mouse button's not working. Got to push harder. Is it going to fit? Let's look it. And let's talk about a black-eyed baby in a mall with two tall, pale-looking blondes. Okay. I'll probably come back to that one. Just read out a bit of it. Where's the thing with L for MUFON? That's something that happened last night too. Firefox has got a bug in it that removes all your extensions and plugins. That gives us actually a fix that actually works, but you have to be a wee bit technical. You've got to open up a developer console with F12 while you're on the extensions and do a couple of flag changes in about config. So yeah, I'll just try and find how it can form. So that's talking about the UFO thing, the crater. So I'll go over that in a minute. Here it is, Open Minds. So if you go to, 3 years old now, but all the video links to YouTube have been taken down. I wonder why. Ha 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 ha. But this is just an online player. I didn't want it to play sound. But go and have a listen to that show. It's quite good. Earl talks about his mum for the first time, and then maybe I was the second one, maybe the third one to interview him about it and make a video about it. But at 51 minutes, he talks about that CITD drone, what do you call it, night vision UFO. Yes. It's well worth having a listen to. 53 minutes in, or around about there. He talks to other things other than his mum. Saying that they reckon they punked him at contact in the desert. Someone sent up a drone with a heating element, which could be like one of those chemical bags that makes it hot, and you just strap it onto the drone. It doesn't need any power, it's chemical heat, and it will show up on thermal vision on a drone from far away and just fly across the valley where everyone's watching for UFOs. and it looks, and two jets happened to be going past at the same time, which was lucky enough. And it looks like two-dimensionally, it looks like it's chasing fighter jets or whatever. This case here, I'll just read a bit about it. Huge dark eyes, a strange baby, and the men in black. So I'll just get it to read out some of it anyway. I won't do the reading while I have a drink, if I can get it to select. If you want to post it about the links on the side. Why won't it let me select? I don't know. It seems to come up. Maybe it's a graphic. So you can't copy and paste it, is it? Something strange going on. Doesn't like going past that bit there. And author. Selecting the whole page. I hate when it does this. There we go. I'll get it to read it with the British guy because he sounds less drunk.
And author C, for example, her 2013 book with Kathleen Martin, The Alien Abduction Files. Over the years, Denise has very generously allowed me to share some of her experiences of the UFO type. One, for me, really stands out when it comes to matters of a high strangeness nature. With that said, I'll turn things over to Denise and an experience she had just a few years ago. I would be glad to describe the situation to you as it has remained clear as crystal in my mind. As for my mom, she knows something happened, but it has gotten foggy and she doesn't know why, yet she recalls something happened that made her feel very uncomfortable. My mom and I had gone to the mall on Christmas Eve for a couple of last-minute stocking stuffer type gifts. We actually knew what we wanted, so parked outside JCPenney's on the side where those goods were. We went in and immediately noticed that in late afternoon, there were only a few shoppers. We picked out our gifts and got in line at the cashier in back of two other people. We could easily see the exit door and the sun in the parking lot. We were facing that way.
Okay, so read already. So the story goes on. Always have trouble selecting for some reason. Come on, right click. Gotta always press hard.
The glass doors opened and two very tall, thin women entered. They had long, almost waist-length blonde hair parted in the middle on top, and it was thin in texture. Their skin was also pale, and I did not notice any makeup, but each had huge piercing blue eyes. Their gait was odd, like they were too tall, approximately 6'1", to walk smoothly. I was already an investigator for MUFON, so was aware of oddities in people and had done background searches for the federal government. So was trained to be observant. They were pushing one of those umbrella-style strollers with no fancy attachments, just the hammock-type bed, wheels, and handles. I noticed they had no purses or accessories such as a diaper bag to carry diapers or bottles, etc. The women moved slowly, it seemed, and drew my attention to the stroller. There was a baby blanket in the bottom portion, and on top the head of the baby no bigger than a small grapefruit, pasty-colored skin, no noticeable nose, a line for a mouth, and huge dark eyes taking up most of the rest of this head.
So I guess they're talking about Nordic hybrids, hybrid humans. Trying to find some pictures, but these look like normal size female images, not very tall and skinny like you see on Close Encounters. There's one here. Looks very tall whites. Yeah. that's got no hair. Tall whites, you need some blonde hair, and then that'd be right, I guess. Here we go. Tall whites. Guess that's what we're talking about. Pretty interesting. It's kind of black eyes there, but so go back to the story. So what happened next? So a baby with big eyes and a little slit and no nose. Did it really happen? You'd think it'd be on security cameras or something. You better pick up something, wouldn't you? It's not going to let me select it again. Finally. Okay.
I wondered if the baby was deformed, but knew this was not the case somehow. The baby appeared alert and was staring up at me. My mom bumped me with her arm to get my attention and said, "What is wrong with that baby?" I felt I needed to tell the person in front of me because we had been talking with her about being slow in finishing up our shopping. When I tapped her on the shoulder, I then was shocked to see not only her but the lady in front of her and the cashier were kind of frozen in place. Everything seemed to be moving in extremely slow motion around us.
I just wonder if they can drug people rather than it's actually time or what they call lost time. I suppose you're drugged, you do have lost time, because I've been on an operating theatre and I can't remember, once they give you that date rape drug, they use it in operating things for endoscope and all that. So you're not actually, you're given that and it sort of wipes your short-term memory, so, and they can sort of make you like a living zombie where they give you instructions and you do it. So yeah, it's kind of scary. So probably read a wee bit more of this, and don't want to break copyright.
The blonde women seemed to pass the thought to me that I needed to take another good look at the baby and study it. Then, as if a film was put back into normal speed, they walked past me and the cash register began to work. People, the only three in the area, were moving again as if nothing happened. I told my mom to hold our places and I ran after the women. Just next to us was the infants' clothing department. The women had turned into that aisle. I followed, and when I turned into the aisle, they disappeared. Just gone like they had never been there. I ran back the short distance to my mom and told her they were gone. We checked out and my mom kept saying what was going on with that baby. I told her no one goes shopping with a baby that tiny without taking needed supplies, bottles, diapers, clothes, etc.
Oh well, Men in Black.
I remember asking her if she thought we had seen something alien such as a hybrid, and she just shook her head as if there was no answer. We stepped out the door, and that's when the experience with the men took place. When we exited the mall, my mom had already stepped off the curb to locate my car. I was stopped by three men who were leaning on the brick wall by the door, wearing black suits, black hats, white shirts, sunglasses, short in stature. The only difference from your reports was the fact that one had a briefcase black also. I don't recall their mouths moving, but it could be I was just nervous.
Men in Black. And of course it comes up with the movie. But they're not short by any means. So yeah, there's a wee bit more to the story there, which doesn't really add much to it. Talking about they disappeared, and there's a brick wall there, and I'm too old to be abducted and used for breeding, and I have had a hysterectomy, so it could not have been the purpose to show me a child or mine, and I felt nothing like that was going on. Yeah, a lot of strange stuff with the abduction cases. Oh, Vern, you're back again. What do you got? I've got to go. We'll try to be back. Doing a stream also that mine is about anything is not, but I look doing it even if it is. I look good doing it even if it is. I'm not too sure what you mean, but I might, if you're still doing it, drop in. Yes. You can post your link to your stream if you want to, if you're going to keep it up, but if you're going to delete it or whatever, it's pointless. So that's that story. That's above there. It's quite a good one. Be good to get some more people coming on that's had UFO experiences and abductions. It'd be good to listen to them and ask them questions. I don't think anyone has any answers though. Everybody seems to have their own opinions, that they're here to help. They need our DNA because there's something unique about the human race. Maybe our planet is very unique in the universe. Who knows? We might be special. We also could be like a test planet where DNA was seeded from somewhere else and they haven't seen it before, or they may have seeded it themselves and seen how it evolved. And I don't know, maybe use it for genetic experiments to make their own race better. Who knows? Good stuff for sci-fis. Will we ever know? Who knows? Does the US government know? Possibly. Or maybe they're as confused as we are. Maybe it's so out there that we can't wrap our heads around it. Like multi-universes and membranes between our world and their world. Maybe there's a planet in the future that's Earth as well. It could be like that. It could be like a multi-universe where you got planet Earth, but in different times. Like in the past, you talk about time slips where people walking down the street and suddenly they're in Middle Ages. And then you got ones that reckon they've gone into the future, which might be another multi-universe planet that's sort of overlaying on top of ours, but we don't notice it and they don't notice it until the membrane somehow breaks through. And then you can see their planet in the future where they've got flying cars. Like I said, I've talked about flying cars before. And they're testing them out in New Zealand, so who knows? The mind boggles what aliens are, whether us in the future. Because what do humans need here? So maybe we lose our hair, and maybe we get more intelligent in the future, so their heads grow bigger. Or we might get more genetic modified to withstand a more extreme environment from radiation and water poisoning. Kind of reminds me of that what was that, the Blacklist episode they recently had on, where the twins were stolen from the parents. So they were actually genetic experiment. So I won't say too much about it, but it's worth having a look at that episode. It sort of relates to maybe the UFO field, who knows? So let's carry on. What was that one? That's right. I think I posted it anyway. What's this one? Is that the original one? Maybe he hasn't blocked me. I'll just post it to him. Oh, I can't do it there. Oh, I don't think it was shown when I was logged in. I think he's got rid of me. Maybe. Let's see. I'll just go back to it without stuffing up the live stream, hopefully. I'll see on the other screen, because I know where it is now. I do post a lot of stuff from time to time. Here we go. Let's see. So it's just under Open Minds one. Oh no, he hasn't blocked me. He's still there. It must be one of the other people on the list that I replied to that blocked me. Gullible people. You'll see that I do subs on Twitter when I expose people. Obviously, they're like the cult members that follow these people, believe everything they say. And then suddenly I'll get 4 more subs that see it posted on mine and think, boy, that guy nailed it, you know, and I didn't even see that. So, got to keep questioning everything, everyone's motives. And eventually we might get rid of all the noise and we'll be left with all the real good UFO stuff that we should be focusing on. So, I smell gas, is it? Talk about Secure Team. Okay, so we'll just bring up his not Secure Team, third phase. I don't often do them because everyone doesn't take them seriously anyway. But it's just nonsense. You know, it looks like I ain't going to have time for MUFON. So I might just wrap it up on this one once I've finished with it. It's hard to believe I've done 2.5 hours already. But yeah, not many people watching, of course. So yeah, have they got rid of it? Maybe. Oh no, here it is. Let me just see if they're muted, maybe. More nonsense. Yeah, muted. Just put the subs on. It'll work. Whose celestial bodies Mercury and the moon? These guys are just a joke, right? So they brought up this image here, which I think I've got here. That one can be deleted. Hey, how's it going? Third phase is good. Like, no, they faked on a live and deleted it after. No, they fake stuff all the time. They've been caught faking stuff, literally making fake videos. So is security. I talk about that on my channel. But anyway, we're just talk about this latest one. That one. Here it is here. I think it's the same image actually. Talking about this, there's a snapshot I took of that part of the video. they're talking about this being a base in the center, but let's go through it. Yeah, go and have a look at episodes, which I've got up on the Twitter. Posted a link above there. Called Third Face Seriously. And I go over their car part CGI that they made and put up on their channel. But not only that, they faked being in the Philippines when they're actually in Hawaii. Some skinwalker creature or something. And they never come clean about it. And they did a live session on someone on the hills in California, saying there was a UFO hovering above the city, when it was just a reflection of the balcony lights around the house and a glass table. I think they turned upside down or something like that, and or maybe a bit of perspex, and had it reflecting back at the right angle, so it looked like a what you do with faking ghost images. And yeah, so they're not squeaky clean, and that wasn't too long ago. 8 months ago, was it? But I'll just talk about this new case here where they're putting out information. There we had a UFO clip by the building. Yep, a lot of this is 3D CGI stuff, but also it's just fake news as well. So here's the clip here that I talk about on my page. 2 mile high what? So there's the video on it here. And then they start comparing it to another one at Area 51 where they did bomb blasts, right? But was that the one? Yeah. That's a bomb crater. Like they detonated nuclear bombs, and they would put caisson pipes down the middle so they can pull material further down to see how the radioactive decay is working. So that's all that is. And on the side here, if you turn it around on an angle, it looks like the pipe's coming out the side of the thing, but it's actually in the center. It's just, well, maybe not the center, but it does look like the center. I think that's the proper perspective here. It does look like it's on the center, maybe slightly over this downside here. You can see it's a pipe because there's the shadow. And they're saying it's an air vent, but it's actually like one of those big caisson pipes that they use like on the Curse of Oak Island, where they keep adding a new bit on top and it just keeps going down and down and down. So then they can put men down there and put test equipment down there and see what the radiation is doing and all that sort of stuff. It's for research purposes. But yeah, let's go back to the article here. So 2 mile turd bros, as I call them, is a pile of rocks you get in the middle of many craters. And so I found some images online to compare it to, a Wikipedia here. Just open it up in a new link. And here's one of the moons of Saturn, I think it was. And again, you can see it's got a big chunk of rock in the middle, and same with many moon craters. And that happens because the way nature happens. So we've got some more links down here. This one here. Oh no, it's the image I was trying to get to come up. Oh, here it is. Talking about it. Here's, how do you say that one? Just read it out here.
Herschel/HRL/ is a huge crater in the leading hemisphere of the Saturnian moon Mimas, on the equator at 100 degrees longitude. It is named after the 18th century astronomer William Herschel, W.H.
Herschel. So there you go. And this one here. Kuhn crater on Mercury. I think that's the one they're looking at. I'll just see if it's said right. See how the computer says it.
Tom crater on Mercury.
Kuhn. Kind of strange names they come up with. So here's various craters. And they look like mounds. Because that's optical illusion. You know how you do 3D buttons, depending which way the sun's shining. So, yeah, there's the spike in the middle here. But, yeah, if you have a look at the moon, you get a lot of craters like that. So you could do a search. Moon craters. HD maybe. Images. And we should be able to find some that's always got the rocks in the middle here. There's one. I think they may have talked about that one being dome cities and stuff before. Different angles. And probably find some more. So what happens, we've talked about this before, what happens is meteorite impacts. It creates a molten layer off the surface of the silicon sand that you have on these moons and what else you call them, planetoids. Where is it here? How it can form. So I'll just click on that one and just show you with a water droplet. It should come up hopefully. So there's your 2 mile spike that happens. You can see if it was molten rock, right, and it's out in space, which is super cold, it would freeze the molten rock before it actually dripped back down into liquid. So you can see here it's forming a spike in the middle of a cup of water, and this is obviously 2 drops. One makes the first splash that comes up, and the second one that sort of chops off the top bit, which can happen because you get some rock that forms into a ball. It comes down and chops part of the spike down, and it can be miles high, of course. Some of these meteorite impacts that happened millions of years ago were quite dramatic. You know, we know the dinosaurs probably got wiped out by such a meteorite impact on Earth, and it still might happen again. And they were just talking about that on the news this month, I think, saying we need to take it more seriously and get government-funded programs to get all the people with the telescopes looking for them. So, yeah, I was just trying to find some more moon craters. So what happens also is that because it causes molten rock, it flows out the sides, but like a swimming pool, paddling pool, and it fills up these other little craters next to it. And of course, the silicon soil on the moon and these planets are very glass-like. So this is where you get glass reflective domes from, and it fills up these little tiny ones and forms a little a dome in the middle, which is actually looks very glassy like, because that's the silicon oxides that they have in the soil. So just try to find other ones, craters that got peaks in the middle. A lot of them are pretty small, but as you can see by that water droplet, they do have some that can form quite high peaks. Here's one here, is it? Probably Google Moon might be a better thing to use, maybe. Here's one here, it looks pretty high. It looks like the same height as the rim. Of course, we're probably looking at a 10 mile crater there in diameter. You'd probably have to look up in Google and find out. details. So, until we sort of get more people landing there, so here's an example of moon bases on the moon. Some idea, concept drawings. Why would they choose domes? Well, obviously, makes sense, doesn't it? Mother Nature chooses spheres and bubbles because it's Mother Nature chooses the easiest path to conserve the most energy. Rather than using more energy to make this difficult shape, it chooses the easiest shape, and that's always the sphere and the curve. We've looked at that before. And I think even on the video, people have commented on it. Let's see if they're still up. Nope, the moon is far too perfect round. Actually, it is sort of round, isn't it? But if you can imagine if it's in a massive object that's molten, right, and it's spinning, it's going to use all the heavier particles are going to sink to the middle, and all the lighter ones will froth up to the top as gravity draws in the heavier particles, because at the middle of the Earth is iron core, right? So it's kind of matches the same idea. So if it's leftover bits from where the Earth formed, where the moon formed, or it may have been another impact that happened while the Earth formed with other debris that sort of then sort of attracted together like magnets, like gravity does, and then it forms a sphere because the gravity acts that way. It's centralized to the sphere, you see. So these guys here probably debating the same thing. Let's see. A sphere is the shape that gives the most surface area with the least volume. Spheres naturally form in space just like bubbles. And then we've got this other one here. Planet forms a sphere because gravity pulls towards the center, which is what I said. Not because the sphere produces the most surface area. Actually, they're both right. Like this guy down here just said. Semantics, essentially, you're both right. So Mother Nature chooses the easiest path, is what they're saying there. Gravity. They're talking about religion there for some reason. You lost me, Mohammed. I suppose they're talking about God's law. I call it Muffin Nature rather than God. Maths, fractal patterns, fractal energy, fractal densities. It's throughout the universe. It's inside us as well. And blood vessels are fractals. So there's someone else talking about God. I don't know where all these God people come from. If the moon was made by a collision of any kind, why does the moon not rotate as fast as it spun when it was formed? Okay, because it's gravity locked with the mass of the planet of Earth is gravity locked to the moon because it's the right distance away, and so the tug of the mass of the Earth pulls the moon around as it's spinning, because Earth spins left to right on the axis, and so it tugs on the moon, and so it's in sync, which is what they say is happening there. It's called gravitational locked. So it doesn't matter about the collision or anything like that. You've had many years to sort that out, but I think the moon has a slight wobble to it, like a bell, they said, sort of ringing. It's unusual. It's not. It's an unusual movement of the moon. And of course, you've got to remember most of the water mass on the planet is 80% water, and that's where you get your tides from. Because if it's gravity locked to the moon, right, so it's pulling on the water, the liquid off the planet, which is stretching it. Then as the Earth spins around, it releases, gets weaker, and so that creates the movement of the tides. So without a moon, life would be quite different on Earth. And also, if we weren't spinning on the angle of axis we have, we wouldn't have the same summers, winters, and all that. It's fascinating stuff. Trying to figure out why we're alive, what the universe is all about, what's our purpose, and because a lot of people turn to religion, and maybe there's no easy answer. It's more weird than that we can comprehend. It may, even if we knew the truth, it might drive us all crazy. That we're not actually alive. We actually might all be dead, and when we're born, when we die, we actually are alive. It might be the opposite to what we think, and we enter into that other dimension. So who knows? I think that's pretty much it for today. I'm almost coming up to 3 hours, actually. 2 hours, 41 minutes at the moment. Yeah, unless anyone out there wants any other topics brought up quickly. Let's have a quick read here. Fakes really piss me off. I mean, I don't trust UFO clips. Yeah, that's why I started my channel. I was annoyed with all the nonsense out there. And I've learnt a lot in 2 years analysing stuff on a daily basis, and improved my skill level and using the tools. Although I haven't been using the command line stuff very often, but I might get back to that. It's because I got a new laptop and I had to reset it all up. I was going to look at some MUFON cases, so I may have used it today, but because we sort of was a lazy Sunday with nothing planned, we sort of went with the topics as it come along. For sure that we know that UFOs are real. I think most of us know that UFOs are real and aliens coming here. Whether they're interdimensional from other planets, we don't know. We know that 95% of people are putting up on the web, on Twitter, that we just looked at, are mistaken or fraudulent, where people take a picture of a reflection in a window and try to pass it off to gullible people on the web that it's a UFO to do their agenda. You know, they're all selling books, obviously, or selling videos. So yeah, I think that's part of the problem. There's too much money to be made in conferences and selling their books. Should be all free if you really want to be believed by people, shouldn't it? So you shouldn't have to be selling T-shirts and stuff. But it depends, really. I think if you find someone that, like myself, that sort of debunks stuff, but is making some money to pay the running costs, that's okay. But if and also if I put up stuff that I believe can't be debunked, which I have got up on my BitChute channel, the best ones. I looked at before. Here's my thing there. Up their channel. There it is. Sorry. I put up my best episodes. Probably 120 something at the moment out of 360. Military badges, strange looking ones. Some UFO cases that I haven't debunked. Hundreds of people witnessed this UFO over town. Some funny comedies I did. The Roswell memo, I look at it, see if I can figure out the words on it. The CIA leak, which is a really strange one. The 1948 UFO case, Two pilots see this strange shaped UFO overtake them, and they weren't particularly high up in those days. It was like a prop plane, DC-3, which don't fly too high, not like passenger jets that get 40,000 feet now. Mojo's UFO video, which is a really crazy video. It's worth checking it out. This creature in the cockpit. If he faked it, he did a good job. Blue men. Actually, there are blue people in the world, so go and check that one out. Security team hoaxing, of course, fake and leaker videos. Story of green people, a really interesting story about kids coming from an underground city. Underground village, where they had what they called a dull light all day, all night sort of scenario, all the time, which sounds like volcanic rock passing through over the roof and shining heat and light down. Nimitz, a story here from Kevin Day that I've got up. Greatest Bigfoot stories, 911 calls and all that. Native Indians and UFO connection. And of course, live streams here. Bigfoot vocals, aliens among us, Gulf Breeze UFO case, and it goes on and on. Right. Why is it not loading there? Kind of weird. Rest in peace, Hawkins, Art Bell. Well, it looks like it's going around in a loop, isn't it? So it looks like it's going around in a loop, but there's a lot more there. I'm not too sure what's going on there, why it's not. Maybe you have to log in or join it to see the other ones. Kind of weird. It might be because I got the shield on here, maybe. Could be some script error. I'll just turn that off to see what happens. Still not loading there. Kind of weird. Yeah, it looks like it's going around in circles. Yeah, it loads again. So I got 10 subscribers there now. I'll just post the link again if you want to go and have a look at those ones, but they're all on YouTube, and a lot more that I haven't uploaded, a lot more. So if you like those ones that I've got up, I don't debunk. Debunk is only part of what I do. I actually look at all UFO cases and give opinion on them. Plus I have a wee bit of fun there with comedies and rest in peace stuff. Stephen Hawkins quotes, done with a robotic voice. And some program that you can install on Windows called Mash that has a little character. So I made a little character with Stephen Hawkins in a wheelchair. Art Bell, he tells his story about his UFO sighting and that, and also El Gray from MUFON. I used one of his soundtracks. Really good song, Seventh Sister. If you're not listening to it, go and have a listen to it. It's really good. And the thing about third phase here, about their CGI nonsense, that was when they were meant to be changing their ways, right? So I did an update to see if they had really changed their ways, and I found they hadn't. And third phase, he claims that he's a truther, but is now working with the hoaxes and all that business. So yeah, I might wrap it up there, guys. Sorry that if you just started watching now, but I try to do it that suits everybody in the weekend. And I do a later one on Wednesday at 3 p.m. So normally I start about now and finish later. So that might suit you better depending where you are in USA. So I did this time here so it suits people on both sides of America. I think East Coast, it's probably late in the evening, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. And West Coast, it's early in the evening, 4 p.m. onwards, I think, or something like that, 4 p.m., 6 p.m. I think there's a 3 hours difference between the East Coast and the West Coast of America, if I remember right, looking at the time zones. So I'm just going to wind down now. I think I've covered everything I was going to. I'll just have a quick look. Just going to wind down with my end credits and say goodnight. But all the links there that I've gone through, have a listen to the Open Minds one about that drone footage from Contact in the Desert. And if you want to wait an hour, Google will process this video and you'll be able to play the front of it. It always does it in reverse order. You always see the last 2 hours, not the first 2 hours. Crazy system, but that's the way they do it. So yeah, I think it's all there. So we're just going to wind down now. And I'll just switch to my end credits here. Please like and share. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. And I'll see you again Wednesday. Oh, my Wednesday, which will be your Tuesday evening, if you're in America or UK, I guess. Matrix TV, shut down the TV.